Justice and equality are the two most important ingredients of a successful society. True freedom is the ability to think and live without the constraints imposed by caste and social hierarchy. The rights of individuals must be protected, regardless of their social status. Social progress can only be achieved when individuals are treated with respect and dignity. We cannot expect to have a free society until we remove the shackles of inequality and caste. Real democracy is the one where social, economic, and political rights are guaranteed to all. The fight for justice is ongoing, and it is the duty of every citizen to be a part of it. Equality is not a matter of charity, it is a matter of justice. Rights are not a privilege but a fundamental entitlement for all individuals. An individual's worth is not defined by their caste, but by their character and actions. True change comes only when individuals are willing to challenge the existing systems of injustice. We must ensure that every individual, regardless of their background, has access to opportunities. Liberty, equality, and fraternity are the values that bind us together as a nation. Caste is a system that thrives on the oppression of others, and we must dismantle it to build a just society. Self-respect is the foundation of a meaningful life. Human rights are universal, and every individual deserves to be treated with dignity. The greatest enemy of progress is the mentality that one group is superior to others. A truly democratic society values the dignity of every individual, regardless of their background. We must reject all forms of injustice and work towards building a society that treats everyone equally. Education is the key to empowering individuals and ensuring equality. Without justice, there can be no peace. The greatest challenge before us is not to gain freedom, but to ensure equality for all. Those who oppress others must be held accountable for their actions. Social equality is the bedrock of a just and prosperous society. Education, awareness, and empowerment are the weapons to fight caste discrimination. No person should be judged based on their birth or caste. They should be judged on their actions and character. Real democracy means treating all individuals equally, regardless of their social status. The fight for equality is not a fight for a few, but for all who are oppressed. True progress can only be achieved when there is equality in all aspects of life. Rights are not bestowed upon us by those in power. They are inherent and must be fought for. Freedom is not just the absence of oppression, but the presence of justice and equality. We must work tirelessly to ensure that every individual has the right to live with dignity. The power of unity is greater than the power of division. The fight for justice must never end, for injustice is a constant threat. Equality is not a privilege. It is a right that must be fought for by all. Social justice is not a matter of charity, but a matter of human dignity. An unjust system is the greatest barrier to the growth of any nation. We must recognize that the dignity of one is the dignity of all. The true meaning of democracy is not in the right to vote, but in the right to equality. A free society is one where every individual can live without fear of discrimination. Freedom without equality is meaningless, for true freedom means equal rights for all. A society that does not guarantee equality is a society that is doomed to fail. We must fight against the forces that perpetuate inequality and injustice. To achieve true equality, we must challenge the very foundations of caste and class. The rights of the oppressed cannot be ignored if we want to build a just society. A nation is great not because of its power, but because of how it treats its marginalized members. Liberty is the right to live without the fear of oppression. The fight for freedom is the fight for equality and justice for all. To be truly free, we must reject all forms of inequality and injustice. The true test of a nation's progress lies in the opportunities it provides to its weakest citizens. Social reforms are necessary for the moral progress of society. The nation that forgets its weak and downtrodden is a nation that has lost its way. The struggle for equality is not just for the oppressed, but for the good of society as a whole. The mind is a powerful weapon. When freed from the chains of ignorance, it can achieve great things. Freedom is the ability to live according to one's values and beliefs without fear of persecution. The fight for justice is a continuous process. It requires constant vigilance and action. We must ensure that every individual has the opportunity to realize their potential. Injustice can never be justified, and it is the duty of all of us to fight against it. True democracy is achieved when every person, regardless of their caste, is given equal rights. To end inequality, we must first challenge the deeply rooted social hierarchies. True freedom lies in the ability to be oneself, without fear of discrimination or judgment. We must work together as a society to ensure that no one is left behind. To achieve justice, we must break free from the chains of caste and class discrimination. The fight for equality is not just for the oppressed, but for the upliftment of society as a whole. Liberty, equality, and fraternity should be the foundation of every society. A just society is one that recognizes and addresses the inequalities that exist within it. We must continuously strive for social, economic, and political equality. No nation can truly claim to be free while its people are still oppressed. True progress can only be achieved when we treat all people with dignity and respect. Education is the most powerful tool for transforming a society. Equality is not just about giving everyone the same. It is about ensuring everyone has access to the same opportunities. To build a just society, we must create opportunities for all people to succeed. Every person has the right to live with dignity, regardless of their caste, creed, or gender. The fight for justice is the fight for human dignity and respect. An equal society is the most progressive society. To build a strong nation, we must ensure that all its citizens are treated equally and with respect. I measure the progress of a community by the degree of progress which women have achieved. Freedom of mind is the real freedom. Caste is a state of mind. It is a disease of the mind. The caste system is not merely a division of labor. It is also a division of laborers. The sovereignty of scriptures of all religions must come to an end if we want to have a united, integrated modern India. A great man is different from an eminent one in that he is ready to be the servant of the society. We must stand on our own feet and fight as best as we can for our rights. Democracy is not merely a form of government. It is primarily a mode of associated living. The outcast is a byproduct of the caste system. Justice has always evoked ideas of equality. Cultivation of mind should be the ultimate aim of human existence. Be educated, be organized, and be agitated. Education is something which ought to be brought within the reach of everyone. An educated man without character and humility is like a ship without a rudder. Without education, wisdom was locked in a closed box. We must develop scientific temper and a spirit of inquiry in our people. Education is the only tool to fight against injustice. I like the religion that teaches liberty, equality, and fraternity. If you believe in living a respectable life, you believe in self-help, which is the best help. Educate, agitate, and organize. Liberty, equality, and fraternity should not be treated as separate items. A just society is that society in which ascending sense of reverence and descending sense of contempt is dissolved into equality. Equality may be a fiction, but nonetheless one must accept it as a governing principle. In politics, we will have equality, but in social and economic life, we will have inequality. A people and their religion must be judged by social standards based on social ethics. The progress of any society depends on the progress of women. Independence is no doubt a matter of joy, but it is only the beginning. Life should be great rather than long. Political democracy cannot last unless there lies at the base of it social democracy. Law and order are the medicine of the body politic, and when the body politic gets sick, medicine must be administered. Religion is for man, not man for religion. Hinduism must be destroyed if India is to be united. Caste has killed public spirit. Caste has destroyed the sense of public charity. The history of India is nothing but a history of a mortal conflict between Buddhism and Brahmanism. The religion of Buddha has the capacity to change according to times. I was born a Hindu, but I will not die a Hindu. Caste system is an epitome of social injustice. Religion is a matter of the conscience of the individual. Hinduism does not teach tolerance. It is a religion of hard and fast rules. One must always fight for one's rights and never depend on others for justice. Political tyranny is nothing compared to the enduring social tyranny which is inflicted on us by our social customs. The progress of any society depends on the progress of women. The battle for social justice cannot be won without the struggle of the masses. I like the religion that teaches liberty, equality, and fraternity. Law and order are the medicine of the body politic, and when the body politic gets sick, medicine must be administered. Rights are not a matter of charity. They are the result of struggle. Human rights are indivisible. The denial of one is the denial of all. The advancement of any society depends on the removal of inequality. Every man should have the right to choose his religion. The struggle for justice must be a continuous one. Freedom is not a reward or a decoration that is celebrated with champagne. Oh no. It is a permanent demand. Freedom of mind is the real freedom. Men are mortal, but ideas are immortal. Equality before law is a principle. Economic equality is a condition. India's economic problems can never be solved without a focus on economic equality. Equality in the economic domain is not a luxury but a necessity for true progress. Without self-respect, no person can live with dignity. The greatest enemies of freedom are poverty and ignorance. A person is not defined by their caste, but by their character and actions. Social respectability can only be earned through hard work and perseverance. We are Indians, first and foremost. We should be united, irrespective of our differences. A nation can only grow if all its citizens are treated with equality and respect. To unite India, we must remove all divisions based on caste and religion. Religion is for man, not man for religion. Social reform is the foundation of religious reform. Religion should evolve with the times to meet the changing needs of society. The real religion is the religion of humanity. Without liberty, equality, and fraternity, there is no true democracy. The progress of any nation depends on how it treats its marginalized communities. Caste is the enemy of progress and social unity. To destroy caste, we must first destroy the mentality that supports it. The struggle for freedom is a fight for justice, equality, and human dignity. True democracy means giving equal opportunities to everyone, regardless of caste or class. Human rights are not a matter of charity but of justice and equality. Social equality can only be achieved when all people are treated with dignity. Change is inevitable, but it can only be constructive when it leads to equality and justice. Equality in rights, opportunities, and dignity is the foundation of a just society. Liberty means not having to fear for one's life, dignity, or rights. Without a system of justice, there is no real freedom. A free society is one where each individual is able to exercise their rights without oppression. We must be the change we seek in society by challenging injustice wherever we see it. True equality exists when there is no discrimination based on birth, caste, or religion. The caste system is a relic of the past that should have no place in the future. Education is the most powerful tool for breaking the chains of oppression. Real democracy is not just about voting. It is about ensuring justice and equality for all. Freedom without equality is nothing but a meaningless concept. True progress requires the full participation of all members of society. The rights of the oppressed should always be defended. Equality must not just be a legal concept. It must be a social reality. A society where everyone is equal in rights and opportunities is the greatest society. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Liberty cannot exist without justice, and justice cannot exist without equality. The greatest threat to freedom is ignorance. The most important thing in life is the liberation of the mind. We must continue to fight for the rights of those who have been denied them for centuries. True leaders do not seek power for themselves. They seek to empower others. Social reform is not only a necessity but an imperative for the well-being of society. True liberty is the right to live without fear of discrimination. Justice cannot be achieved without equality, and equality cannot be achieved without justice. The strength of a nation lies in the unity of its people. The fight for equality is a fight for the respect and dignity of all human beings. Liberty is not the absence of oppression, but the presence of justice. An unjust society is one where only the few benefit, while the many suffer. The caste system teaches us to look down upon others based on their birth, which is an injustice. The true test of any society is how it treats its most marginalized citizens. True democracy is built on the foundation of social, political, and economic equality. Rights are not given to us. They must be fought for and won. Equality is the greatest weapon against injustice. The fight for social justice is never easy, but it is always worth it. No society can truly progress until all of its citizens are treated as equals. Political freedom is meaningless without social and economic justice. To uplift society, we must ensure that the poorest and most oppressed have equal rights and opportunities. True progress requires that all people, regardless of caste or creed, are treated with dignity. We must reject the notion that one group is superior to others. Freedom is not a gift, it is a right that must be claimed and defended. To eradicate injustice, we must confront it head-on and not be afraid of it. We must change society's mindset before we can change its laws. Those who have the power must use it to uplift the oppressed and not further oppress them. True greatness lies in lifting others up, not in putting them down. True freedom is the right to live your life without the fear of being oppressed. We must all strive to be the change we wish to see in the world. Education is the key to transforming society and breaking the chains of caste. Without social justice, political freedom is a hollow promise. Social equality is essential for the health of any democracy. The caste system is a major hindrance to the growth and unity of society. The fight for equality is the fight for humanity itself. True progress can only be achieved when all people are treated as equals. We must constantly challenge ourselves to break free from the shackles of prejudice and oppression. A society based on caste is a society that will never know true freedom. Equality is the cornerstone of a just society. The progress of society is directly related to the liberation of its most oppressed members. The ability to think freely is the most important form of freedom. Human dignity can only be achieved when all people are treated as equals. We cannot build a just society while we allow discrimination to persist. Social justice is a right, not a favor. Every human being deserves to live with dignity and respect, no matter their background. True equality exists when there is no discrimination based on birth, caste, or any other factor. One can achieve true liberty only by fighting for justice and equality. Justice and equality are the foundation upon which true democracy is built. We must recognize the worth of every human being, regardless of caste or creed. Social progress can only occur when we break free from the chains of discrimination. Every person has the right to pursue their own happiness without fear of judgment or discrimination. Freedom and equality are inseparable. Without one, the other is meaningless. True democracy ensures that all individuals are treated with equal respect and dignity. Social reforms are the means by which we can achieve true justice for all. Liberty means the ability to live your life as you choose, without fear of repression. A just society is one where each individual has the opportunity to thrive, regardless of their background. True liberty is the ability to act in accordance with your own values and beliefs. A society that values equality cannot allow the oppression of any group. Without equality, liberty is a mere illusion. Progress in society requires that all individuals are given equal rights and opportunities. We must fight against injustice at every turn to ensure that no one is left behind. A fair society is one where everyone, regardless of their background, has the same opportunities. We must ensure that the rights of the oppressed are always defended. Indifferentism is the worst kind of disease that can affect a society. The progress of any society is dependent on the progress of women. I have always believed that the way to true freedom is through education. Educating the masses is the key to social revolution. The struggle for freedom from untouchability is a fight for human dignity. Without social justice, there can be no political justice. I am not afraid of the enemy, but of the indifference of the people. Those who are in power want us to be perpetually ignorant. Education is the only way to break free. Religion cannot be confined to a single race. It should be for the well-being of all people. Freedom cannot be given, it must be taken. A nation's greatness is measured by how it treats its weakest members. Democracy without equality is only a political fiction. It is not the caste you are born into, but the work you do and the values you uphold that define you. The most important thing in life is not what we have, but what we become. To truly progress, we must first change the way we think. The real test of a society's progress is in how it treats its marginalized communities. Caste is not a biological difference. It is a social invention to serve the interests of a few. Real education is the education that liberates the mind. True democracy is built upon the foundation of equality and justice. We must overthrow the caste system to build a just and equal society. Knowledge is the foundation upon which liberty is built. A country's greatness is determined by how it treats its minorities. Untouchability is the cruelest form of injustice. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Equality does not mean that all are identical, but that all are treated with fairness and dignity. We must break free from the shackles of tradition and superstition to achieve real progress. Freedom means the right to choose your own destiny. One should not look to others for the answers, but seek truth from within. Empowerment of the weak and oppressed should be the ultimate aim of any nation. The true meaning of life lies in helping others and serving humanity. No nation can be great if it does not provide justice to all its citizens. Liberty, equality, and fraternity are not just ideals. They are the principles on which a just society is built. Religion should be a source of compassion, not division. Rights are not given by the government. They are inherent and must be fought for. A true leader leads with justice and fairness, not with power and oppression. Progress is not just about material wealth. It is about social and moral growth. Every individual is entitled to live with dignity and self-respect. The real work of democracy begins when we treat each other as equals. A society that discriminates against its people is doomed to fail. True freedom can only exist in a society that values equality and justice. Only when we break the chains of caste can we truly achieve liberation. It is through unity and collective effort that we will bring about change. The true meaning of success lies in uplifting the lives of others. Social reform is the backbone of national development. Nothing is more dangerous to a nation's health than a system of inequality. The greatest challenge facing society is not political but moral. The ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity must be translated into action. Knowledge is the antidote to superstition and ignorance. Political freedom cannot survive without social and economic justice. Only a society that practices equality can claim to be truly democratic. Real progress is when a nation creates opportunities for its most vulnerable. Caste is not a natural phenomenon, but a man-made social construct. The empowerment of women is essential for the progress of society. Change is inevitable, but progress requires effort and sacrifice. Each one of us is responsible for the society we live in. Religious dogma should never take precedence over human rights. True leaders do not seek power for personal gain, but for the benefit of society. Rights are not something to be given, but something to be fought for and earned. The strength of a nation lies in the dignity of its people. A nation that oppresses its minorities is bound to collapse. Equality is not a gift from above. It is a right that must be fought for. The world has enough resources for everyone. It is injustice that causes poverty. A society that values equality cannot have untouchability. The greatest form of slavery is the slavery of the mind. Equality in the eyes of the law is essential for a just society. Man's greatest need is not to be served, but to be respected. The power of the people lies in their unity. The true meaning of democracy is that every citizen has equal rights and opportunities. A just society is one in which the rights of every individual are protected. Justice is not about punishing the wrongdoer, but about ensuring fairness and equality. We cannot achieve true freedom without first eradicating caste-based discrimination. Freedom of expression is the cornerstone of a just and democratic society. The test of any democracy is the extent to which it respects human rights. The true spirit of democracy is in the inclusion of all people, not just the elite. Human progress is measured by how well we treat our weakest members. Every individual has the right to live with dignity, regardless of caste or creed. Equality is not just a legal principle, it is a moral imperative. Discrimination in any form is a barrier to progress. Real progress comes when we empower the oppressed and marginalized. Freedom is the right to live a life of your own making, free from oppression. The true measure of a nation's greatness is the degree to which it ensures social justice. A great society is one that eradicates inequality and ensures freedom for all. To be truly free, a society must ensure the rights of every individual. Liberty is not a privilege, but a right that should be protected for all. A society that values justice must guarantee equality for all its citizens. Nothing can destroy a nation more than the oppression of its own people. True progress is when everyone has equal access to opportunities. Social equality is the foundation of a prosperous and just society.